Over the last week or so, there's been a lot of different... You two know you're my favourite two pundits. One from England, one from the States. And you've both talked a lot of common sense when it comes to boxing and breaking down fights. Canelo Triple G, Paulie, you had your say on the fight. Spencer's had his say. They completely differ from each other. Yeah. And I kind of want to understand why they differ so much, since you both have great boxing minds.
You know why? Because it was Margaret Thatcher that said in 1978, I have never learned anything from anybody that was agreed with me. So Paulie will go say something to me, and I'll take it back and I'll maybe reevaluate, and maybe it could kind of change my mind a little bit. But you know what I mean? The opinions are opinions.
Yeah, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Yeah.
Paulie says it was a robbery.
You see, Paulie's got, I'm being real, Paulie, it seems like you have something against Canelo.
No.
Yeah, no, seriously, you see, you got something against him?
I've worked Canelo fights. Did I ever look like I had anything against Canelo? I call it like it is. I don't. Can we be raw here?
Raw and go.
I don't blow anybody. All right, I don't blow anybody. So just because everybody likes to blow certain fighters doesn't mean I'm gonna blow them. If he wins, he wins. If he loses, he loses. I'm gonna call it like it is. Okay? And I thought he fought a better fight. And credit to him for making certain adjustments. That was great. That's what a great fighter does. I think he's a great fighter. But he did not beat Gennady Golovkin. That's it. Simple as that. Just because I don't think you won doesn't mean I don't think you're a good fighter. He didn't win the fight. It's simple as that.
All right, but I'm trying to say to you, right? Trained eye or untrained eye, the person that threw the more eye-catching shots.
Why are they eye-catching? Because he's trying harder?
No.
Because Golovkin looks effortless? Golovkin looks effortless.
Just say, look, one second. One second. You say
Canelo's like, wow.
Wait.
You know,
did Golovkin look effortless when he fought Kell Brook? It seemed like he tried to grit down his gumshoe to think like, I'm going to put you in your place.
Kell's more athletic, and he actually went for, he went for Brook.
Okay, then. So when you're saying like, wait one second. So when you're saying like, it's because he's effortless, maybe he hasn't got it in the tank anymore to bite down on the gumshoe, because I think he was trying to bite down on the gumshoe, especially from round 8.
He outboxed him, though.
You're saying he outboxed him, but I'm saying the person who threw the eye-catching shots, the thing that left a lasting impression on the judges, you have to think that judges have never boxed, you know that?
Exactly, and that's why Canelo got the fight.
Exactly.
And that's why people have this conversation, though, because a lot of people just look at eye-catching shots. It's not about eye-catching shots, because Golovkin threw plenty of hard shots. The only guy that hurt the other in the fight was Golovkin. I mean, how much more eye-catching do you want it to be?
You're telling me that the bodywork of Canelo didn't have an effect on Golovkin?
It might have had an effect.
It did have an effect on him,
you couldn't see how it had an effect.
But it had an effect.
Yes, I'm not telling you. Look, we both used to fight. We know bodywork has an effect. But, having said that, he didn't show he had an effect, okay? He went about on his bicycle and he boxed well, okay? Canelo physically looked hurt when he got caught with shots around 9, 10, one of those rounds.
Right, it looked like he got hurt. But if you look at the damage, right, the facial damage, you say you
forget about the facial damage.
No.
No, you can't. White guys get more physical damage than dark guys. Yeah,
white
man.
Guys.
Yeah, white guys.
Wait. Is what color is
Canelo's Hispanic. Look at that kind of white.
You're way darker than him.
Spencer, that kind of white is different. No, Spencer.
Seriously, you are way darker than him.
Remember Julio Cesar Chavez?
Come on, man.
Hey, Julio Cesar Chavez got the shit beat out of him by Meldrick Taylor. He looked like he just came out of a dance studio. Okay? Hispanic white is different than white white. Hispanic white is white white. Hispanic white and white white is two different whites.
One second, brother. That fight, when you're talking about Chavez versus Meldrick Taylor, that fight was 1990, March 17th.
Yes.
Right, March 17th. Check this one out now, right? The black guy was the one who looked busted up.
Yeah.
Right, so that throws caution to the wind. You think, well, if you look at this guy, but he was a black guy. Right,
yeah, but he was also in the trenches too. Meldrick fought too much in the trenches.
Right, I did. He got beat up bad to the body. But
he pummeled Chavez too, and Chavez looked like he wasn't touched. So it doesn't matter about that, because you can't look at physical appearance, because some guys bruise more than others.
Right, but it does matter because
scar tissue and you've got a lot of experience.
But it does when the narrative of the fight was, do not run. Golovkin, do not run. My guy said, all right then, bad man thing.
Who cares if he won? It would be moved.
He didn't run.
He didn't run because he was not on the rope. He wasn't on the ropes the entire time. He was not on the ropes once.
Paulie, did he bring it to him?
He boxed.
Compared to the last time, did he bring it to him?
Yes, which is why he gets credit. Which is why he gets credit.
Oh man, brother.
Which is why Canelo gets credit.
He gets credit. And listen, and this is what I'm trying to say.
He brought it to him, that's why Canelo gets credit. But just because Canelo gets credit doesn't mean he won the fight.
Brother, I'm understanding where you're coming from. But the narrative of the fight was Golovkin's going to just deal with this guy.
Okay, that's preconceived notions. That's preconceived notions. You're letting it spill into your ability to judge the fight.
The notion was brought by Golovkin. So we as fans were saying, brother, you better bring this fight then. And you didn't bring the fight because you didn't bring the fight. So therefore, there's an argument. A close fight is not a robbery. A close fight is a close fight.
A close fight is a close fight, but only one guy could have won the fight. You can't find me 7 rounds. Canelo won. You can't find me. You can only find me 6. Maximum 6.
This is already
I had a 7-5 Golovkin. Maximum 6. If you're judging by the same criteria every round, Spencer, unless you're changing criteria round to round just to give Canelo rounds, okay? If you're judging by the same exact criteria round to round, you don't change your criteria at all. Every single round, the most rounds you can give Canelo is 6 rounds. I'm sorry. If you're changing criteria round to round just to give Canelo rounds,
no, I'm not giving no rounds. But if we listen, if we look,
because he outboxed him,
brother. When you're looking at the fight, look at the fight. You're saying he outboxed him. Yes. Not for the first 6 rounds, you never.
Buddy.
For the first 6 rounds, did he outbox him?
First 6 rounds was closer.
No.
Golovkin won the fight in the second half. Golovkin won the fight in the second half.
I'm sitting down as an unbiased.
The fight was won like a champion wins it. In the second half of the fight,
no, it wasn't.
Golovkin showed he's a champion. He won it in the second half of the fight. The first half of the fight, Canelo held tough.
You know what I mean?
Canelo held firm.
He didn't win the fight. If they gave it a draw, no complaints. If they gave it to Golovkin by 2 rounds, no arguments. A close fight is a close fight. It was not a diabolical robbery. We've seen diabolical robberies. Just like when you're talking, like when Pernell Whitaker outboxed and outclassed Julio Cesar Chavez and they gave it a draw. That's diabolical. You know what I mean? The first fight was with Lennox Lewis versus Savannah Holyfield. That's diabolical. This was not diabolical. So therefore, on that notion, we've got to say, okay then, well, maybe not the right guy won the fight, but it was a robbery. That's my argument. It wasn't a robbery.
Yes, when the right guy doesn't win, when the right guy doesn't win the fight, it's a robbery.
It's not a robbery.
Okay? When the right guy doesn't win the fight, it's a robbery.
Not a robbery. I can tell you about robberies. You know what I mean?
No, then there's highway robberies. Yeah, exactly. But that still doesn't make a lesser robbery a robbery.
While we're talking about robberies, be careful with this watch here.
Look at this. Now he's looking to take my stuff. Look at this. Imagine this guy.
Paulie, we obviously gotta have to agree to disagree here.
Yes, but clearly.
Just give me your aspect of when Spence says a close fight isn't a robbery.
A close fight is not necessarily. A close fight is not necessarily a robbery. A close fight is not necessarily a robbery. But if you're watching a fight from a certain perspective and you have certain criteria watching the fight, you have to judge it that way. I don't think Canelo can win that fight. You have to find me 7 rounds Canelo won in order for him to win the fight. He did not. You can't find me 7 rounds. You can barely find me 6. If you stretch it, you can find me 6. And then you make it a draw. And then it's not bad. Okay? You can't find me 7. Then you stretched it way too much. It's mathematics, bro. It's not anything else. It's just mathematics. You got to find me 7 rounds to win a fight. If it's 6-6, then you need a knockdown to win a fight, you know? Otherwise, you got to win 7 rounds. You can't find me 7 rounds Canelo won. I'm sorry. You're just not going to find me 7 rounds Canelo won.
Right, and I'm not arguing that you can't find 7 rounds. Maybe we can't find 7 rounds. But I'm trying to say, but of the entire fight, and we're going round by round, you can say, oh, you're going to give it to Golovkin because he outboxed him. But when we're used to a guy, and we're saying outbox him, we're talking about the sweet science, which you demonstrated the sweet science. You were a sweet science fighter. So I'm really shocked that you didn't favour certain things that Canelo was doing.
What was he doing? Golovkin was some sweet science. Golovkin circled and boxed him the whole time and stayed off the ropes.
The slick work.
And stayed off the ropes.
No, he never.
But he's never busy enough. He's never busy enough. He's got no jab. Golovkin jabbed the hell out of him. He's got no jab. If you're going to box sweet science, you're using your jab. The guy stands there, coming forward, and doesn't throw punches for the large amounts of time sometimes. I'm sorry. And then a lot of the shots Canelo was throwing weren't landing. Golovkin was getting no credit for the tight defense.
You just don't like Canelo.
Golovkin was getting no credit for the tight defense. Put the fight in slow motion. How many of those shots landed? I'm telling you, a lot of those shots were just missing Golovkin. But Canelo looked like, wow. And he looked like he was throwing nice and hard. So you give him credit. It's not even landing. It's not even landing half the time.
It's the lasting picture. Sometimes you got to take yourself out and go like, you got to look at this when you're judging this like by naive eyes. And naive eyes, which the judges can be, I can see why
I'm gonna leave it like this.
Fight.
Because a lot of the Canelo groupies that can't get his cock out of their mouths, they think I'm hating the guy. Okay, I'm not hating on the guy. I actually give him a lot of credit for making the adjustments.
You're hating.
No, I'm not. Because I give him a lot of credit. No, because I'm hating on the fact Golovkin got robbed. I'm gonna hate on that. I'm gonna hate on the fact Golovkin got robbed. But having said that, the guy made adjustments, and you got to give him credit for that. Because he's a world-class fighter, and only a world-class fighter can make adjustments at this level. Okay, so you give him credit. But just because he made the adjustments doesn't automatically mean he won the fight. And for me, he didn't win the fight. But I give Canelo credit for being a world-class fighter and making the adjustments necessary, because it's not easy to make adjustments in this kind of a fight under this kind of pressure. So for all you Canelo groupies,
You're not hating.
Wipe the load out of your eyes, okay? Wipe the load out of your eyes, okay? And look at me, okay? Clearly, okay? I'm not hating on him. He's a good fighter, okay? He's a good fighter. I just don't think he won the fight. He's a world-class good fighter.
And I just
sorry for the vulgarity.
Don't worry, you could do that. You're the guy, you right? But I'm just going to end on this. Close fights are not robberies. Close fights are actually close fights. And I'm saying to you, if I had a child and I said, listen, go and watch boxing, I would have them watch Canelo rather than Golovkin, right? Because they can learn things. You can't really learn stuff from Golovkin. Golovkin was kind of, he's a victim of his own success because we believe that he's going to go and just batter Canelo. And because of the Cambutero stories and everything else, most people, myself included, wanted Canelo to get beat up. But I'm looking at him saying, well, you know what? A close fight's a close fight. And maybe I couldn't find 7 rounds. Maybe I could find 6.5 rounds and that'd be enough. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I see it. That's not against Paulie Malignaggi, my guy. You know what I mean? And no one can out-talk this guy. Paulie Malignaggi is my guy. But what I'm saying is, Paulie Malignaggi, over the years I've studied this guy, watched this guy, I know this guy from way back. Paulie Malignaggi used to, and I'm not calling it hate, because I don't think you hate nobody, right? Except for Donald Trump, right? You weren't too keen. You know, he's the biggest Donald Trump supporter. You know what I mean? He's Manny Pacquiao. You always like something. You're Manny.
Come on,
and,
come on. That's not obvious, though. Come on.
And
you gotta be mentally retarded, man. Even then, you should see it. Come on.
And now,
come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And now it seems like you have this new thing now, and it's got to be for Canelo. But that's your business. I still love you, Paulie.
No,
you're my guy. I love
because
you.
I never gave
man.
Pacquiao any credit. I never gave Pacquiao any credit. I really thought, minus the doping that I'm convinced he did. I thought Pacquiao was average. I don't think Canelo's average. I think Canelo's world class regardless. Having said all that, you talked about the sweet science. There's one thing I'm going to disagree with you. Golovkin is a more technical fighter than Canelo. Canelo's more athletic. So there are things you can learn if you're a trainer and you watch Golovkin, because Golovkin has proper balance, a proper jab, obviously the power helps him. Golovkin's a technical textbook boxer, so there are things you can learn from watching both of these guys. I don't think you can only learn from watching Canelo. You say, oh, watch a trainer tells you to watch Canelo. I think you want to learn a lot watching Golovkin as well, because Golovkin is very, very technically sound and precise. All those Eastern Europeans are.